actioncorp TV. This is our first show down here in Craig's basement, using a whole new format. We got a table and some new graphics we're going to use during the show, so we hope you stick with us and check it all out. The first thing I wanted to mention, though, during this show is that we're going to have a messaging client open throughout the entire show, and we're going to continue to do this continuing into new shows that we do from now on, where we'll be able to have an instant messaging client open, and you guys who are watching live will be able to send us messages in real time, and we'll be able to see those as we're doing the show live, and that way we can try to make the show a little more interactive with the viewers who watch live. So be sure to do that, and the way to do it is to use MSN Messenger, and it's actioncorp@hotmail.com is our screen name. So just add that into your messenger list, and we'll get your messages while we're on the show. First up, we're going to have a new news segment here at the beginning of the show, and the first news item we have is we've got a hold of some top secret screenshots for the new Longhorn Windows operating system. We're going to take a look at some of those new screenshots right now. The really new interesting thing to note about Longhorn is that there's this sort of I don't know what you would call it. Do they have a name for this yet?
It's called the app bar is what they've been calling it.
The app bar. You can see it along the right-hand side of the screen here. It's kind of like the taskbar, but it also lets you dock applications into it. So you can see they've got a clock docked here, and they also have an application that lets you have multiple screens, which is a very handy feature for those Linux users out there who have used that before in the X desktop. Let's take a look at the next screenshot. This looks like the installation.
Yeah, this is the installation. You can see it looks a lot like the original XP. Not much difference at all there, but they are showing you that it is the codename Longhorn edition of Windows.
Right, and if you can look it might not be clear on those watching. You can go to the next one, Craig. It might not be clear, but you can see on the sidebar on that app bar that it's semi-transparent, semi-lucent transparent. So they're trying to take some cues there, I think, from OS X on the way the quartz looks, and so they're kind of doing some of that here in the new Longhorn. Here's just a typical folder view. I have to say, it looks pretty good. Don't get me wrong. I think that that's a lot of wasted real estate there in that window. I mean, it's just a huge graphic. So, Longhorn. The next thing I wanted to talk about briefly was we are all Gamecube fans around here, at least most of us are, and Nintendo has released this week the Gamecube Broadband adapter as well as the modem adapter, and this will allow the Gamecube to play online games. Now, Nintendo hasn't really been pushing online gaming very much, but they have developed the peripherals to do so, and the first online game will be PSO. We've got a photo here of the actual package for the broadband adapter, which basically just snaps into the bottom of the Gamecube. It's an Ethernet adapter, pretty much straightforward stuff. Like I said, the first game to support the broadband adapter will be PSO, episodes 1 and 2 put out by Sega, which actually should either be out like in the next couple days, or I think it is out like on Tuesday.
I think it's the 29th, yes.
Yeah, so it's about to come out. They've already released the adapter, so people can start buying those, and then the game will be out on the 29th. So.
Also, for those that don't know, PSO is Phantasy Star Online.
Yeah, sorry.
I tended.
Well, we were big PSO players here, so we kind of assumed that. But
right.
Yeah, PSO, Phantasy Star Online, put out by Sega. It's a great online role-playing game, action-oriented type role-playing game. The next thing I wanted to talk about was we stumbled across a really unique website this past week, and it was basically a website that has photos of some of the worst server rooms out there, and the server rooms or switch rooms where people have, where they do all their cabling and so forth, and people put up a website dedicated to some of the worst cabled rooms out there, and we've got some photos we wanted to share with you. We thought were pretty darn funny. Let's take a look at just some of them. These are just random, no particular order, they're not like from best to worst, but you can get a real feel for some of the go back to that last one, Craig.
That first one, that's the true web.
That's
right.
And what's really cool is you probably can't read it, but the sign up there says like, "Do not touch these wires for any reason." I mean, golly, can you look at that?
That's actually you.
Yeah, if you can, this photo actually you can see there are hard drives mounted to some kind of poster board. Pegboard, and yeah, and they're just duct taped all together. I mean, just horrible, horrible. Let's go to the next one. I mean, would you not want to walk there? I don't think.
No.
Actually, our room looks like this at work.
Yeah,
I thought that was U of E right there.
Oh man, that's just horrible. Yeah, that one's better than some of the ones we saw a minute ago. Oh man, look at that. I mean, it's just spewing wires totally under. This is
my
a
favorite.
cute one. Yeah, this is basically a guy who's got a server running here, but he's got the server motherboard hanging from a wire in his closet, and then all the peripherals, such as the hard drive and so forth, are all just dangling off by their connectors.
Now you have to wonder if that CPU fan on that last one actually makes the thing spin around like a mobile, because it's got to actually push the motherboard around a little bit.
Yeah, that's sad. One more thing I wanted to talk about here in the news segment that I skipped over a moment ago by mistake was we stumbled across this really unique technology in the home thing, and this is what it is a new refrigerator put out by LG Electronics, which, interestingly enough, I had an LG Phenom Pocket PC at one time. Or it wasn't a Pocket PC, but it was a Windows CE machine. But anyway, they do a lot of technology-based stuff, and here you can see a refrigerator that they're putting out that is kind of like the tech geek extraordinaire refrigerator. Here's some of the stats on it. It has a built-in television, a 151.1-inch LCD screen right in there. You can watch television on that.
That's a tablet PC too, which is really cool.
Yeah,
it's a wireless tablet.
It's a total
PC.
Tablet, and it can play audio such as MP3s. It's got full internet capability, so you can surf the web right there. Instant messaging, calendar. You know, it's got some sort of cooking and recipe applications built into it. All sorts of stuff. The only thing it doesn't have is the ability to UPC scan stuff, which we thought it ought to have, so you can keep a database of the items in the refrigerator. But other than that, pretty geek-worthy, obviously. But
it can actually keep track of the food you have in the refrigerator. You just have to manually enter it. But using that feature, you can actually have it generate grocery lists for you. So that's actually a cool thing and actually a useful thing instead of it just being a geek feature. So
we're going to try to, on a regular basis, look for unique geek-related items like that we think actually enhance and improve your lifestyle through geek. So keep an eye out for some of those in the future. We're going to take a little break right now and show you the trailer for The Two Towers while we just take a break and reposition a couple cameras. So stick with us and we'll be right back.
What business does an elf, a man, and a dwarf have in the Riddermark? Speak quickly!
We track a band of Uruk-hai westward across the plains. They have taken two of our friends captive.
Look for your friends, but do not trust to hope. It has forsaken these lands.
We're lost. I don't think Gandalf meant for us to come this way.
He didn't mean for a lot of things to happen, Sam.
I come back to you now, at the turn of the tide. Sauron's forces have begun their attack. He is using Saruman to destroy your people.
They were unarmed. They had no warning.
This is but a taste of the terror that Saruman will unleash. You must fight.
I will not risk open war.
Open war is upon you, whether you would risk it or not.
A new power is rising. Its victory is at hand.
It is an army bred for a single purpose, to destroy the world of men.
You must lead the people to Helm's Deep.
By order of the king, the city must empty.
Where is she? The woman who gave you that jewel.
The alliance between men and elves is over.
Our time here is ending. Arwen's time is ending. Let her go.
Where is it?
Just tie him up and leave it. No!
You know the way to Mordor.
There will be no dawn for men.
The ring.
Frodo!
It's taken hold of you.
You have the gift of foresight. Tell me what you have seen.
He is not coming back.
The defenses have to hold.
They will hold. There is nothing for you here, only death.
There is still hope.
That's the trailer for the new Two Towers Lord of the Rings movie, supposed to be out by this Christmas. Looks really good. I really like the first one.
Oh, yeah.
I was a big fan of it. Hadn't really been through much of the books. I wasn't as much of the history of Lord of the Rings as some of these guys are around here, but I really enjoyed the first movie anyway. So that looks like something that'll be worth the watch when it comes out.
Yeah.
We're going to come up here now to my favorite part of this show. I've been talking for a while about modifying my Xbox with a mod chip that would let me do homebrew games, emulators, applications, things like that. Basically use my Xbox for more than just a video game system. And that's finally been done. I got my Matrix mod chip in. We're going to show some graphics here in a second of the Matrix itself so you can see what this chip actually looks like. It's the first mod chip to use a spring design. It has little springs on the bottom that just smash down onto solder points on the main board. You can see it there. That's the actual chip. It just fastens down to the main board of the Xbox with one screw, and then you flip the dip switches that you see in the center bottom there to set the different modes of the Matrix chip itself. Very easy to install. This is the programmer. You have to actually flash the Matrix mod yourself. It doesn't ship with a BIOS for legal reasons. So you have to download your own BIOS replacement. You put a 9-volt battery in that large black container there, and then hook that to your parallel port on your computer, on your PC, and run an application that flashes the built-in flash ROM on the Matrix chip. Once that's done, it's an easy installation procedure. Hopefully in a later show we'll have pictures of my actual installation so you can see just how easy it was. It's not quite as easy as they detail on the manufacturer's website. It did take me about an hour to get it lined out just right and get it fitted properly in my Xbox. But once I did, it's done very well. It's only slipped a few times because since it is spring-loaded, it can actually move around a little bit if you travel with your Xbox, which I carried around quite a bit. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to show you what exactly you can do with a modified Xbox. I have my Xbox here and ready to go, and it's pretty well loaded with applications. So we're going to boot it up here. And right from the get-go, you're going to see as it boots that there's a difference. The once normally green Xbox logo that comes up here is going to be a different color. You'll see it's orange and red here. This is a color mod BIOS. That's what this is called. Now we're going to boot up instead of the normal Microsoft dashboard that you would see. This is Evolution X. And this is one of the most killer applications for Xbox so far. This is a complete dashboard replacement and utility. You can see me scroll through the menu options here. I have mine set up and customized. I can switch back to the normal green standard Microsoft dashboard that would let me view my memory and my songs and things like that. I can go ahead and reboot or power off my Xbox from my controller. This is going to be a really good feature when the wireless controller is available, because when I get done, if I'm across the room, I can power my Xbox off and set my controller down and walk away. So it's going to be very good. Evolution X is an FTP server that allows you to transfer programs and applications to your Xbox's hard drive. It also allows you, through editing a menu INI file, to do customizations like these menus. These things, this box floor, the media player, and emulators here, I've added that by editing my menu file. Those are sub-menus that allow me to launch applications easily. I do want to show you the skins feature here. Everything nowadays is skinnable.
Yeah,
Winamp really started a big phase when they did it. You know, there was programs before that had it. So just for tonight's showing, I've made one up here. This is my actioncorp skin. So I did a quick skin today. This is just a first effort. I'm not a skin maker. I haven't really went through a lot of things that you can do. You can see there's some information at the top left. There's the time and date. The time for the Xbox is now always right. As long as I have an Ethernet connection, it will sync up through a time server now. So everybody that complained about the Xbox not having a battery and the time being set, you know, you guys can just go somewhere else now. It's always right as long as I have an internet connection. Up at the top right, it says no disk. You can customize that if you want that information to say whether there's a game disk inserted, an application disk, a DVD movie, it will say that. So this is fully customizable. The background is just a 640 by 480 JPEG picture. and then there's a skin.ini that you can edit to really customize this. So I actually captured this off the actioncorp website.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks just like our message boards.
Yeah, and made the background and had to customize it so that it scrolls through a little bit. What we're going to do now is I'll show you some stuff here. I'm going to back out. I'll do a couple other skins real quick. The 3D space, which is a little bright. Here's the original Evox, and most Xbox fans will notice that is the Halo font.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing.
Spelled out. So the Evox screens, the actual stock ones, are some of the best ones, I think. This is one of my favorites for obvious reasons.
That's awesome.
Right here. So and then they get a little bit funky and stuff like that. So we'll set it back to the actioncorp. And I'm going to back out to my main menu here. This is all being controlled from my Xbox controller using, obviously the back button to get back out. It's very, very logically controlled to go through. I can view settings. This is my settings of Evolution X and my Xbox. I have a static IP address set, but I have control to do it from DHCP. It's really showed the power of the Xbox as far as it being basically a computer. Here's my hard drive information, my free space for all my partitions.
Nice.
I don't have it set to use my F partition yet, but I need to do that. It's a hack from Evolution X that I have to do, and that'll open up another 2 gigabytes of storage space.
Why is there an F partition?
It's actually where the Xbox stores game saves and different things like that. It's broken down into multiple partitions. It's just the way Microsoft decided to do it. So some of them are used and some of them are not.
I see.
My BIOS version of my kernel. If I want to allow FTP access, all this stuff is pretty much self-explanatory.
Your passwords right there.
Yeah, but it's the same. You can't really, it's the same for all of them. So
well, it's not like you're on the net or anything. So.
Yeah, the remote development tools I don't use. Hopefully I will when I start using the XDK, if I can say that on the air. But when I start using the XDK and build my own stuff, I'll use that for remote debugging. Here's where I can do 24-hour time and connect to the time server. And then if I want to automatically launch games, like I said, this stuff is pretty intuitive itself. Save and exit, and it saves to a file on my hard drive, which it loads. So there's no more saving to a memory card or anything like that. It's all right there on my hard drive. So I'm going to move down now and show you Box Explorer before we take our next break here. This is another very, very good application.
I love how everything fades and looks cool.
Yeah, Evolution really that's all Evolution X. It really does a good job of controlling it. This is my actual system C drive for my Xbox. You can see there's my Evox INI that controls my menuing. This is all the audio here that you hear when you're in the Xbox.
Oh, yeah.
People talk about the voices you hear on the Xbox when you let it sit for a while. Well, here they are. The ambient voices, all these WAV files, can be transferred back to your computer through FTP, and you can listen to them, and you can hear all the sounds that you hear through your Xbox when it's on. That's all right here in WAV format. Like I said, everything
ironic.
else...
It's not ironic. I should have expected it being in WAV.
Definitely. Just like the video is Windows Media Video.
Yeah.
It's the same way. But here's the Xbox dashboard is down here, so I can launch the dash. Actually, I've replaced the dashboard. The one that's down at the bottom is Evolution X, and this one named here, MS Box Dash, is the original dashboard. So if something were to happen to my mod chip, basically my Xbox will not boot because it detects that I've modified the dashboard, and it will not let me boot. So I'm going to switch to my E partition, and this is the one that I've actually customized myself. You can see my emulators here installed, CPS2, Box Explorer, and I'll get back to that after the next break. We're going to do Box Explorer, which I'm in. I can actually launch programs from here. I'm going to launch Doom X real quick. Any XBE is an Xbox executable. Okay. So all you have to do is highlight that and hit your A button, and you launch that program. So this is Doom X. This has actually been ported over, and it's going to boot up here and run through. And of course, Doom has been ported to everything. I'm sure it'll be on your wristwatches before long, but this is standard Doom. It's a little bit GL Doom, and I don't know if you can't hear this, but they've actually already built in force feedback.
Yeah, I can hear it.
So as he's running around blasting with his shotgun, my controller is rumbling like crazy.
Gosh, the original Doom didn't have force feedback.
That's true. I can get into the game here and actually start up, and the control's a little bit funny. It uses dual sticks, so I got my left thumbstick here on the top as my strafe forward and back.
There are other games that do it that way.
Yeah, it's kind of a Turok style.
Yeah, it is.
So you use them both, and the right trigger shoots. So it's not a hindrance. You can actually play very easily. You can run through the game, and it's standard Doom. I mean, for all the Doom freaks, this is the way to go right here. They're going to have net play, with Doom 2 when they port it over. So you'll be able to do all the standard stuff, and it's straight up Doom.
Sweet.
So we're going to switch out of this, and we're going to take a break here real quick, and I'm going to reboot my Xbox again and come back with some emulator goodness on my Xbox. So for the break here, we're going to switch out, and we're going to show you the commercial of the upcoming Metroid Prime for the Gamecube, which comes out pretty soon here.
The cold silence of space only punctuates the feeling of death that emanates from this virtually lifeless planet. Only one thing is alive and well here. Evil. And it must be destroyed, decimated, exterminated. First, it must be found.
And that might just be the game that makes me get a GameCube. I don't know. Metroid is an incredible game, and they have some features in that game and some effects that you just haven't seen on other systems yet. Some of the blurring effects and the real-time lighting is incredible. And being a game player, foremost, I look for that kind of stuff. I look for those kind of graphic details and things, and that's just a game that looks incredible.
I also like the fact, too, it's not quite a first-person shooter. It gives you that feeling of a first-person shooter, but it's not. It's really kind of an action platformer shooter. I mean, you can't label it a first-person shooter quite. I mean, it's a little different than that. And you've got things like auto-targeting and strafing, but it's not meant like Doom. It's much more actiony, much more story-based.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be really cool.
Yeah, everybody's always worried about the transition from a game that is as good as Metroid in 2D to a 3D version of the same game, and it looks like they've really taken the time to address the issues of a game that switches over into 3D and really iron out some of the bugs and make it so you can still enjoy the real effect of Metroid. And I just hope that they do that when they bring Castlevania into 3D, because as everybody knows, I'm a Castlevania freak, just like I'm an Xbox freak, and I really hope that makes the transition as well as Metroid.
Yeah, let's hope.
So next, we're going to go back to the Xbox here. A lot of stuff on the Xbox, like I said. I'm going to show you now one of the main reasons that I wanted to modify my Xbox with a mod chip, and that's for emulators. I love playing old-style console games.
Who doesn't?
Super Nintendo, that's true. Super Nintendo, Nintendo, TurboGrafx, Genesis, those are the four systems that are what you think of when you think of real video games. I mean, that's what people sat around and played. Everybody's been through Super Mario Brothers and knows how to warp to World 8 right off the bat. I mean, you just know those things. That song just sticks in your head forever. So we want to play that. Well, I play that all the time on my computer, but I want a way they can play it where it's a set platform.
On your TV, with a controller.
That's right. And play all these things from one spot. Well, this is SNES 9X. SNES 9X is the best SNES emulator to date on the PC. It's been ported to just about everything. The Mac has it. Everybody else has it. So now it's on my Xbox here. And I have all my games put on here, over 157 ROMs. You can see in the bottom right, 157 games here to play. And this is without even having a disc in my Xbox. This is just on my hard drive. So, if I want to play Castlevania, I can go up here and go to Castlevania 4. And I can play Castlevania. It boots up just like on the, on my computer or on my SNES. It looks just like it, full sound. There's my lovely Konami logo. I love seeing that come up.
Oh, there we
looks
go.
like we got the Xbox sound working here too, so you can hear this now. It fires up full time, full speed, no frame skipping needed.
Because the Xbox, what is it? How many megahertz?
It's 733 megahertz.
Plenty of processor power to do emulation.
That's right. 64 megs of RAM. You're raring to go. Plus being optimized for the native graphics chip NVIDIA. They can port this stuff and it's just in there.
Yeah.
So you can play the actual game. I can go in. Plus, since I have a hard drive in my Xbox instead of just using a memory card and things like that, I can save my games. I can save where I'm at. I can save state even.
Yeah, for games that don't support saving.
Exactly. So if you don't know what saving state is, it saves a snapshot of the RAM, the way it is in RAM, the game at that point, and when you restore state, you're at that exact point in the game again. So if you're getting ready to fight a boss and you save state right before him, when you go back to restore state, you're right back where you started off. No passwords, no codes, nothing needed. You're just right back in there. So that's great. I love that about this. I'm going to drop back out to the menu. Once I'm back out to the menu, I can switch right back out to Evolution X and go to my next emulator. So that's another good thing about the Xbox.
To make it really flawless, you don't have to do a lot of, I mean, you're not flopping CDs in.
That's right.
To go to the next emulator, you know, you're not spending 5 minutes waiting for it to boot, and I mean, it's all instantaneous. I love that.
That's correct.
I mean, this is truly, I mean, you've converted your Xbox into more than just being an Xbox video game system. I mean, this is like a jukebox of video games.
Yes, this is definitely the reason why people are building these into arcade cabinets now, because you can actually have this doing everything. And if you doubt any of the power of what the Xbox can really do, if you're familiar, I mean, if you played actual arcade games, you know, I'm gonna bring up CPS2. This is Final Burn, which is a Capcom video game emulator, arcade game emulator.
Yeah, and so, these are I wouldn't say these are like super recent games, but these are games within the last 3 or 4 years. Arcade games. So these are powerful games, require a lot of CPU and a lot of memory to run.
Yes, they do, and they're large games also, which you couldn't do on systems like Dreamcast. As much as I hate to admit it, those games just can't load, or those systems can't load these kind of games because the ROMs are so large that there's just enough onboard RAM to be able to load them up.
Yeah.
So I'm going to load Marvel Superheroes here, and you can see this is the exact arcade game. This is not a port. This is not something on the Super Nintendo or anything like that.
I love the intro to these games too.
Graphics.
I
do too.
This.
Yeah.
They got these Capcom games got great intros.
Except for the Q sound. Q sound is one of the.
Well, yeah, we don't need the Q sound,
yeah,
but I love these like right before the title screen scenes here they play. It's really cool.
Drivers and stuff.
Yeah.
Make sure you recycle, as that thing said. We want everybody to recycle.
Never gave
so I'm gonna cue. There we go.
There we go.
I'm gonna cue the few credits here and go into the game for a second. I'm gonna take Juggernaut because, like I said, he's incredible.
We got only a few more minutes left. But I want I want to see you pull up Sonic. Do you have Sonic on?
Oh, I can definitely pull up Sonic.
I want to see it.
We'll jump out here. What we'll do is I'm gonna actually reboot the Xbox real quick. Still waiting for it to boot. You can see my lovely color mod BIOS again there. Which lets me know that my mod chip is actually working.
It lets you basically show off the fact that you are hacked.
Yes, and that actually shows too that's a real-time graphic there.
Yeah.
So they can change that color just by changing a little bit of code and not by actually replacing that video.
Yeah, that's not like a video clip, what you're saying.
Exactly. So I'm gonna boot up the Genesis here.
Now, what is the emulator here for the Genesis? What's it called?
It is DGen.
DGen, yes.
DGen. And I'm going to kick down to a very, very small font, and that's one of the things that people are complaining about these emulators is that the fonts they are using are very small. I have Sonic. What do you want, Sonic 1, 2, or 3?
Let's go with 2. I'm partial to 2.
Sweet. There we go.
Sweet. I'll play a little bit here.
Use the D-pad and the 3
while
right
we edit
buttons.
the show here, I'll play a little bit while we're ending the show. Sweet.
3 right-hand buttons and A, B, and C.
These right here? Okay, got it.
So here it is, Sonic.
Yeah, that's perfect. I mean, using the regular control pad for the Xbox, and good to go.
Yeah, and Chris should know because he's pretty much the Sonic, resident Sonic expert here. So.
Yeah, it's pretty good. The emulation here is nice and fast. You're not getting any frame dropping. Very nice.
And you can save your game and save your state.
Yeah.
So.
And that's thanks to the emulator.
Exactly. Yeah, that's all for the emulator. So, but that helps for people that just couldn't get through playing those boards in one sitting. You know, now you can save your state and just come back later on. So, it really makes it worth it. I paid about $60 for my mod chip, and it's a really good investment. There's much more that we could show before the 30-minute time span that we have here.
Yeah.
We can't just pack in everything. There's media player for it. You know, you can play your DivX movies, DivX 3, 4, and 5. You know, you can FTP into it and set up everything.
Maybe we'll show the media player next show. I mean, I'd like to see
There's
that.
much more to come, and there'll be more by then also. So I think that's going to do it for this actioncorp segment, this actioncorp show.
Yeah, we appreciate you tuning in. We're sorry for those people who are watching live. They may get kicked off. We had a small hardware error there, but our next show will be next week. look for us sometime in the middle of the week, probably Wednesday or Thursday at around 8 o'clock, and we'll see you then. Thanks for
Post
watching.
on the boards.
Yeah, post on the board.